Hey guys, today I'm going to show you Photoshop in 7 minutes. Welcome everyone, my name's Mark for Create Inc. where we teach you how to use creative tools to benefit your work, your business, or your hobbies. So strap yourselves in and let's jump into Photoshop. Alright, first things first, we're going to make a new document. So to do that, let's hit Command N on the keyboard. This will bring up a window where you can select what size, height, and resolution you want your document, as well as a bunch of presets up the top here. Hit create once you're happy. Next up, let's import our image. To do that, we can drag and drop it from our Finder. Once it's in there, we can simply resize our image by dragging the corners outwards. Also, if we hold Option while doing this, it'll resize it from the center. Now, if you hold Command and adjust one of these corners, it'll change the perspective of the image, depending on which corner you've selected. Also, while you're in this mode, you can right-click the image, and what that will do is allow you to rotate the image, flip it, or do a bunch of other effects here to edit your image. So once you're happy with your edit, simply hit Enter on your keyboard to confirm it. Now, if you cannot edit a layer, say for example with the brush tool, that's most likely because the layer is not rasterized. And as you can see, this isn't rasterized because it's got this little icon in the bottom of the layer here. So to rasterize it, simply right-click it and select Rasterize. You can also hit Command U on your keyboard to bring up the hue properties of the layer. And here we can adjust the color of the image and also the saturation and the lightness. Hitting Colorize will also allow you to tint your image in a certain hue. If you want to undo that change, simply hit Command Z on the keyboard and it will undo the last thing you did. There are some helpful shortcuts with the Layers panel. So Command J will duplicate the layer. Command E will merge the layer below it. Or if you want to merge all layers together, you can simply select them all and hit Command E. To unlock the background layer, simply double click it. Command G will make a new group. And then you can make different layers inside that group by duplicating. And then if you want to merge all those layers together again, select the group and then hit Command E. To add some effects to our layer, we can simply go up to the top here and hit Filter. And in here you'll find a bunch of different effects you can apply to your layers, like blur, distort, noise pixelate, etc, etc. For now, let's add a blur. So let's go blur and Gaussian blur. Now you can drag the slider here to increase the blur and hit OK. Now to reapply this effect to our layer, we can simply hit Control Command F on the keyboard. And each time we do so, it'll make it more and more blurry. Again, you can hit Command Z to undo all those effects. So now to access the color correction tools, we need the Adjustments panel. And if you can't already see it, you can go up here to Window and select Adjustments. Otherwise, you might also find it next to the Properties window. Now in here is all the different color effects we can apply to our image, such as brightness and contrast, levels, curves, vibrance, saturation. So let's click on Vibrance. Now one thing you may not know about vibrance and saturation is saturation will adjust all the colors all together, whereas vibrance will allow you to boost the colors without affecting the skin tones. So if you're ever editing a photo with people in it, try and avoid using the saturation. Now as you can see here, it's added this vibrance adjustment layer above our main image here. So anything below this vibrance adjustment layer will be affected by this adjustment. Now if you want to add some text to this image, you can simply hit T on the keyboard or select the T over here on the toolbar. And then simply type some text. So I'm going to type hello. So now we're going to change our text color by simply highlighting our text. An easy way to do that is to just double click the T in the Layers panel. And now we can go down to our foreground color down here, double click it and change the color. Now we can also change the size of our text by simply hovering over the size tool up here and dragging it up or down. Now up here you can also adjust the font style, the font weight, the alignment, and also the spacing. And there's more options over here in the character panel to finally adjust the text. Now, if we wanted to erase part of this text, we're going to have to rasterize it like the other layer. So right click and rasterize. Now we can add what's called a layer mask to our layer. So to do that, simply select this little square with a dot in the middle down the bottom here. Now the way a layer mask works is whatever you put on this layer in black will erase it from the picture, and whatever you paint in white will add it back in. So let's select the brush tool by hitting B on the keyboard. To adjust our brush size, we can use the bracket tools to go up and down. Now to select black and white in our color selectors over here, you can simply hit D on the keyboard for default colors. Now to reverse those colors from background to foreground, simply hit X on the keyboard. Now with black selected in our foreground color and our layer mask selected over here, we can paint onto it black and it will erase part of that image. In Photoshop, you can also add layer styles to your layer, simply by double clicking on the blank space next to your layer. And in this window is a bunch of different effects, which if applied will only apply it to that individual layer you've selected. So say we wanted to stroke our text here, we could simply select stroke, and then if we click on that, we can adjust the settings for it. And once you're happy with it, hit OK. You can also add different effects like gradients, color overlays, etc. So hit OK. Another cool thing about Photoshop is you can copy that layer style and apply it to another layer. So simply right click on it, select copy layer style, select your other layer, and then right click it and press paste layer style. Now if you want to remove a layer style, simply right click on the image and select clear layer style. Or you can also untick the icons in the individual layers. Now to save our document, hit Command S on the keyboard, and you can save it in Photoshop format, which is a PSD, and that will retain all the information like layers and effects and all that, just as we have it here open in Photoshop. Now that's good if you want to edit it later on. If you do want to save it as a flattened image ready for use, a final, you can hit File, Export up here, Export As, and in here you can select PNG, JPEG, or whatever sort of file type you want, and hit Export. And that was Photoshop in 7 minutes. Now there's obviously a whole lot more to Photoshop than just these effects and tools, but this should give you a great basic understanding of how Photoshop works, and so you can jump straight into Photoshop and start editing your images straight away. Now if you are after a longer tutorial, be sure to check out this one here, and if you got some value from this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. Alright, thanks guys, see ya.